Welcome to From the Sidelines, a production of University Athletics. I'm Chris Saunders with co-host Bacchus Rolle. Today we're talking basketball, specifically women's basketball, with a player, coach, administrator, and referee. He's done all four. We're talking to him when we come right back. You're watching From the Sidelines. Welcome back to From the Sidelines. I'm Chris Saunders with co-host Bacchus Rolle. Today, we're talking with Devin Johnson. He's been a player, a coach, a referee, and now administrator of the New Providence Women's Basketball Association. But he's been very involved with basketball from the very young up until now the Women's League. So first, Didi, you were a triple threat. Now you're, I guess, a quad threat now. Let's talk a little bit about each one. When you started as a player, what was your impetus to get going?
Well, I always wanted to be a basketball player, I have some fellas I've watched growing up playing basketball, so I wanted to be like some of them. So I said, let me try it out. And some coaches I came up under inspired me to, be a basketball player.
You said that there were some who you aspired to be like who?
Believe it or not, I've never ever told him this, but the first time I saw him, because he was so tall and he could handle the ball like a guard and he could shoot the ball well. I said, damn, that nigga almost 7 foot. Bacchus Rolle. Right now in Bailey Gym, he came there Saturday. Coach Markey introduced us to him. I said, wow, coach, where this guy come from? He's so tall and he's like a god. Yeah, he was one of the guys that I emulate. Even up to now, still do. He doesn't know that though.
But you threw him out. We'll talk about that later. When you made the transition from being a basketball player, was it first to coach or first to referee, or did you always sort of kind of meander between all three at one point?
Well, after playing the game, I said I might as well try to coach it. So I started a program back in my area home. Started a program, but it was pretty good for a lot of years. Actually, still going on. So I started to coach kids from age 5 and up, and it went on from then. And referee say, if I coach, so I must get referee too. So I tried that. I came in and asked the guys if they're looking for officials, so they say, you interested? Come along, and I've been doing it ever since.
You've been doing it, now, almost 15 years?
Yep, just about, or a little more.
Again, I think refereeing and coaching leads to the development of basketball. Which one do you think you make the greatest impact with, not just with individual players, but for the sport overall?
Well, I think the coaching aspect of it, some coaching and some officiating, because especially when you officiate with the younger kids, you kind of teach them some things as you referee the game and tell them some things. And coaching, you get the hands-on with them. So it both goes hand in hand.
We talked about the trip. That's the triple threat. Just recently, you've added administrator. What caused you to say you coached women's basketball? What caused you to say I want to take on the administrative aspect of this league as opposed to another league that was men-centric?
Well, the reason why I decided with women, because women's basketball was like going downhill. Like nobody was interested in the women's program in the country, and we have a lot of talented females here in the country. So I decided, I've coached in the women's league for about 7, 8 years now. And I've seen where it was deteriorating because the people, fans was coming and all that stuff. And So I say, let me see if I could do try to make a change to try to make it better and to help the younger girls. When I decided that, I wanted to have the women's program as like a feeder program, but for the younger kids to try to get them off to school and to better their education and to play college basketball. And I'm still trying to do that right now. That was one of my aims and goals and still is.
So Devin, I mean, first of all, let me just say thank you very much for the complimentary remarks earlier.
The check is in the mail somewhere, I'm sure.
I remember the day that I was introduced to you along with one or two other teammates by Coach Mackey. Big day for me. It's probably one of the first times I was introduced as, because he almost kind of made me feel like I was a star.
Yeah, he sure did.
But, I just want to say congratulations for sticking with it, for sticking with basketball. I've watched your progress as a player, your determination as a coach, moving into officiating. Thank you for being the well-rounded player that I believe, or well-rounded person for basketball that I believe Coach Mackey wanted you to be, and that we need in the sport. But so that leads me into just, when I look at D and I see where he has evolved to, no doubt there would have had to been individuals that had their hand on your life, specifically with regards to basketball and outside of basketball. So who would you say your mentors would be for your achievements thus far in the sport and out of it?
Well, like I mentioned him earlier, Coach Mackey was a big influence in my life. Growing up, Coach Mackey and Doug Collins, Moan McPhee, all those guys, I watched them coach, I watched them practice. So they were the driving force of me still doing what I'm doing. Some of Mr. Coach Mackey is not in the sport no more. I haven't seen Doug Collins in a minute. I see Moan McPhee now and again. So he's the only one who probably still at it, but he's getting up in age. So I'm trying to keep the legacy of them through me doing what they did for young kids, what they did for me, actually.
Doing a very good job. I mean, to be honest with you, those are some of the persons that pushed me along, that made sure I stayed on the right track and stayed in love with the sport itself. So I'm doing my part, you're doing your part. If all of us who came under that tutelage would do our part, our game should be further on than where it is now. But we do have some persons doing their part. The only other thing I wanted to ask you in this segment, D, is why basketball?
That's a good question. I played basketball. I played other sports in school, but basketball was kind of a love. I fell in love with it because of the camaraderie it has, and when you have a basketball team, it's like your brothers. You get so close, and you see them every day, and you do things together. So basketball, I stick with basketball as the sport I choose to concentrate on a lot. It's because it brings discipline also.
Yes.
It brings discipline. It helps you be between athletic and your schoolwork and all that stuff. It balances you off. Because you have some kids who are very academic, some who are not. And once we get together, we help each other. So that's one of the things that motivated me to stick with it.
All right, D. I noticed that you didn't mention me, but that's all right. I guess my check didn't clear. When we come back, we're still talking to Devin Johnson. You heard a little bit about him, his background as a basketball player, a coach, a referee. But we're going to delve into that one little spot that's new to him, and that's administration, and administration at the women's basketball level, how important that is and what that means for the development of that sport. When we come back, you're watching From the Sidelines.
Chapter One Bookstore is your back-to-school headquarters. We are proud to serve the students, faculty, and staff of the University of the Bahamas and the community at large. We are the premier choice for the purchase of university textbooks and supplies, and UB logo apparel, paraphernalia, and gifts. We also carry a wide variety of school supplies, learning aids, and leisure books. Visit our copy center throughout the semester for all of your printing, copying, and binding needs. Chapter 1 Bookstore is located on the ground floor of the Michael Eldon Complex. Shop with us on Monday through Friday between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. Call us at 397-2650 or email us at chapter1@ub.edu.bs. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Chapter 1 Bookstore. See you soon!
Welcome back to From the Sidelines, a production of University Athletics. We're here with Devin Johnson. We told you about him as a basketball player, a coach, and a referee, but now he's delved into something new, women's basketball administration. Dean, like you sort of kind of hinted at it. You jumped into it because you felt as if that sport was dwindling. It didn't have the support. It didn't have the fans. Where do you see you taking it now to the next step? I know that you have a focus on developmental for young ladies because they definitely don't have an outlet. There's many, there are a couple of mini leagues and junior leagues around, D leagues around that are there for young men, but there's really not that much for women, and you're making a focus on that. How important do you think it is for the sport for you to have that impetus and that push?
It's very important. Like I said earlier, women's basketball was so much on a decline that I said to a few friends of mine that I would take up the mantle and run with it and run as president. Actually, and I won, which was a great thing because from I've been in, this would have been my third year now, but the COVID situation. I've seen a lot of changes. That the crowd is coming back slowly. The women's league for many, many years had a stigma behind it, but it was not always that way. You had to come there to see what's happening. But now now I've turned it into like a family-orientated place where you could come with your family, enjoy a good game of basketball, watch your kids play, watch your mom play. That's what I'm trying to keep it that way. Where you could just come and have fun and enjoy the game, and it's getting there. It's getting there slowly but surely. Just trying to see if I could get some more people to get involved with the women's program to help it and to see it grow. Because we have a lot of young girls, actually, a lot of high school girls playing in the women's league, and they are very talented. If the corporate people or the people that's in charge of things that could come out and see these young girls, they can help them get to the next level, because it's not easy, because to get a scholarship now, especially for females, you have to have coaches come to see them. Some of the kids who play in the league, they are talented, but they don't have the funds to go to that place. So I'm trying to see if we could get some help with people that comes in to see these kids, get them off, just get the development going. So it could be an encore thing. Like you say, there's D leagues and this league for men. We could have our own D league here, as long as we get the help, as long as we get the facilities to do these things.
How much of an impact do you think that on women's basketball? And again, I'm asking you to look into the future. How much of an impact do you think? Because you're not going to see it in this 2 years that you've been at the steed of the league. In 10 years, you'll see that the impact. What is that impact in your mind in 10 years from having this developmental push for women's basketball? Do you think that this is something that, if we continue it as you at the head or somebody else at the head, knowing that this is the push, that we could have some sort of representation like we did back in the day, regionally and even possibly internationally?
Yes, I think so. 10 years from now, I'd really like to see that the young girls who playing now could come back and offer something to the kids or the girls who would be coming up, because I think it's going to be like a process. It's going to be a process where you see, I remember when I played here, I remember when I played in this gym, I wanted to get to a point where the women's league has its own facilities. Maybe you don't have to worry about this one in the gym, that one in the gym. We could just click, lights on, clock on, whistle blow, let's play. But that's another problem. But as it goes, and I don't know how long I'm going to be as the president, but now that I'm there, I can do my best and do my part to try and make the women's basketball move forward where it should be and where I want it to go.
Coach, for me, I think the real impact for women's basketball in our country has to come at a level younger than high school basketball. And so my question is the league considering going into the primary school and doing training at a primary school level, maybe a camp of some sort for women only, for girls only, and I think when you make it specific to gender, it gives them something to be proud of, and this is their thing. So is the league thinking about going as deep as primary school level for surfacing a talent, developing talent?
Me and my executives, we talked about it, even talk about going to family islands and trying to just develop or for them to start a league for women and on their islands. There's things we have put on the table. Like I said, it's time and again, money to do all these things. And when you ask this one, you ask that one, everybody say, okay, come back here, come back. But it's a process. And me and my executives, we are going to do what we could do until our term is up. If they decided to put us back in, then we'll move on again and try to get where we want the women's program to be. And I would like the women's program to be 5-star. Right now, we are 2. And so the goal is 5. So each day you take a step, each time you take a step. So we're growing. Everything, we have growing pains. Everybody have growing pains. And we're going through some growing pains now, but hey, at the end of the day, if we stick with it and believe in our product, we could get to 5.
Well, that's excellent to hear. I mean, I think, let me just say right off the bat, I mean, whatever the men's basketball at University of the Bahamas can do, we will definitely do. If we need to lend our Saturday mornings for clinics for the young girls, for training, if you want to utilize our outdoor courts, we are willing to assist because we want to see the development of the sport. I particularly love women's basketball. It has very fond memories for me. I met my wife through women's basketball. But even now today, I would watch a women's collegiate game before I watch a professional game. I think women's basketball is basketball in its purest form. There's no little athleticism. Skill has to be on top, and so whatever we need to do to help to push that, we can. Final question for you though, for me, as far as developing and continuing to develop the league, how difficult has it been for the league to nail down corporate sponsorship?
Oh, it's been hard. I've sent out letters from day one. I think I feel like Hubert Minnis because for me came in power. We had Hurricane Katrina, but not Dorian. We had Dorian. Now we get COVID. So I feel like him because every time I go for sponsors, they say, well, the hurricane just hit, now COVID. So yeah, it's kind of rough because the corporate people saying they don't have the monies or their funds go towards something else and all that stuff. But I'm still knocking on the doors, still tugging it out. Still trying. I'm not going to stop. They got to keep telling me no, but I'm still pushing. I guess there's some goals me and my team has put in place that we want to see, and we're going to get it. However we do it, if we got to wash car, rake yard, we're going to do it.
All right. You sort of kind of touched on it a bit about how the impact of the sport is on society. We'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. You're watching From the Sidelines with Devin Johnson. Make sure to join us after the break.
To be a Mingo, hard work, dedication, and commitment would have to be the watchwords for you. Over the past few seasons, hard work, dedication, and commitment have been the watchwords of our Mingo basketball. And it is truly through the years where we find the spirit to continue to go on.
To be a Mingo. To be a Mingo, I think, is an empowering spirit. It's progressive, and happened to be with the young man that came up with the whole concept, and I'm understanding and believing that it is whatever you want it to be.
Welcome back to From the Sidelines. I'm Chris Saunders. We're here talking with New Providence Women's Basketball Association President and Administrator for the league, Devin Johnson. But I want to talk a little bit about basketball and women's basketball to a certain degree, but basketball in general. What type of impact do you think that basketball and the fact that we should promote it a lot more because of the impact it would have on society? What type of impact does playing basketball for young men and young ladies have on society, you think?
It has a lot, because right now I see a lot of guys who played basketball or play basketball, and women. They like, when it's gonna start? When we gonna play? So it's like that's something that keeps them going. Basketball for me, when I play it, is like just a stress reliever. Just go in the gym, play some ball, hoop. It's like freedom, And some people, the guys now, the females, they don't have that now because there's no basketball to play to release that energy they, have. So some society, it really needs to get back because it's really big thing.
Not only just get back, I mean in general. I mean, a lot of times, and I hate to bring you out of women's basketball because I know that's sort of kind of your passion now, but basketball in general, we know that, and this is a stat that we constantly talk about, that most crime is committed by young men. If we promoted basketball more, had more opportunities for basketball, and I guess sports in general, that would give young men opportunities to have like you said, an outlet. What type of impact do you think that would have on society in terms of crime reduction and increase in quality of life, making young men and young women more responsible, or wanting to be more responsible members of society?
Like I say, basketball, it comes with, it's a disciplined sport. So I think if you get more of them playing, doing stuff, and society would be so much better because then they wouldn't be sitting on the corner waiting for that guy who just got paid to say, my boy, let me have that. He could have been in the gym playing some basketball, or she wouldn't be on the corner doing some things she ain't supposed to do. She'd be in the gym hooping. So it takes a toll on them, and they don't have that outlet. Because some of the kids still be around the gym now, but they can't get in. So, because they can't get in the gym, they go find themselves in mischief, especially the younger kids. And especially if they live in the inner city, and they used to, let's say, going on the basketball court through the corner. You can't go no more. So what do I do now? Where do I go? So first thing come to mind, one of his friends, hey, let's go around the corner and
do
whatever. Because there's no outlet for basketball. So I think it plays a big role in society, keeping the young kids' mind occupied at least for 2-3 hours. They know that they're doing something positive. That's why I try my best to when I have my program on a Saturday morning, I can guarantee you I get 30 to 40 kids doing something positive for 3 to 4 hours every Saturday morning. So I've done my part. At the end of that, I try to tell them, make sure you go home and do the right thing. See you next week. And that kinds of, and see, a lot of things too, some of those kids who come out looking for basketball, there's no one there in the home or to guide them. So basketball, they may meet a friend, and their friend, daddy or the mommy, they look up to them. So they become more respectful, and so that helps too. So if you don't have that, then we were gonna lose our younger generation. We're losing them now, but we just need society and people to see that these kids just need outlets to help them free their minds of things, because a lot of the young kids go through a lot of things the grown-ups go through. So
You're almost a commercial for more increased corporate sponsorship to have these programs.
basically, yes. That's what we need. As long as we have sponsors, corporate sponsors, even if it's one basketball, that means that's one kid have a basketball. You understand? That's all we need. 10 basketballs. That's 10. Just a start. You understand? Because at the end of the day, you could see the results from it. It's not that you're going to sponsor, or I'm just going to give my money to them and they're just going to waste it away. No, you're going to see where your money's going. You understand? We're gonna show you where your money's going. We're going to break it down. We're going to do things, invite you to see that, hey, see what we bought with your money. This what we did with your money. We got some T-shirts, we got some balls, we got some bags, we got some cups, whatever. Just for the kids.
And here are the kids that are being impacted.
Yes. I honestly believe if corporate Bahamas really go and touch these situations and the situations become very real to them, then they would understand the importance of contributing and assisting where they can. But I want to switch gears just a little bit, D. So we've seen major changes in the game of basketball over the past couple of years. You know, it's not the same physical game as when I played, or when Reggie Forbes played earlier than I did. You know, and the three-point shot is the order today, and so that has caused coaching strategies to change, etc. My question for you now, put on your referee hat. As an official, does that change for you in the mindset when you're calling that game? Are you calling less fouls now? You let players get away with some things now? What have you?
Well, like, it has changed a lot. Nowadays, we don't have that dominant big man. In most teams, we don't have that big man who could give you 20 and 10 a night. So, like you said, it goes back to the three-point line now. Three-point shooters don't get fouled that much.
Well, you was a three-point shooter.
I never get fouled that much. I ain't getting in the paint. But it has changed because, and I will call, if I know that, let's say, Chris' team is a dominant team inside, Parker's team is a three-point shooting team, then I know how to call that game. I would know, okay, when that ball get down in the paint, I got to be right there watching how they move down there. When your team get the ball, okay, this team is shoot the lights out. So I watch, my expand, it gets wider. So it depends on the teams that plays, and if it's a good game, and if you have two good referees, you know, we let them play. We let them play.
I know. Whenever you got to call a game for us, we always know it's gonna be long night in the gym. Ain't much free throws that night. But no, it's good. It's good for the game, good for the up and down. The guys get to be as creative as they can with the game. I like the new game. Yeah. I really like it. The other thing that I wanted to ask, and maybe switching gears again, sorry, is, are you happy from an administrative standpoint for the Women's League? When you look at your coaches, are you happy with the product they're selling? Do you believe that your coaches need a little more skill training? Do they need a little more system in the game? You know, are they hollering at the players? Is it training? Is it teaching? Are you happy with that? I mean, everybody has their own style, right. But you know, what's the culture that you want? What kind of coaching culture do you want in your league?
I would love a coaching culture in my league where the coaches would firstly come to the game dressed appropriately. You know, like they come to coach and not to sit by the bar and have a few cocktails. You know, because you represent.
That's something you control. Right. That's right.
You like, take for instance the University of Bahamas. You would come into the game with no slippers and sweats on, because you represent that. So exactly. If Chris Saunders sponsor me, I represent Chris Saunders. So if Chris Saunders come in the gym and see me in sweats and slippers, and my team get on T-shirts, so I would like to see where the league comes to that point where we dress in slacks and, you know, come out and look the part. Even if you can't X and O, you look the part. You understand? But I think that everybody needs help in terms of more training and help with the way they coach and stuff every day. So I would welcome anyone to come. If they want to come and think that they could motivate or help my coaches or show them some strategies or some ways they could structure their program, that's fine. I'd welcome that hands down. Hands down. But for now, my coaches do excellent jobs in terms of coaching their teams and stuff. They do an excellent job.
Well prepared. Yeah, I've been to one or two games. They seem to be well prepared, structured offenses, defensive sets. So, you know, the foundation is there. Yeah. We just have to continue to work at it, and it'll develop. But for me, you know, keep passing it down. Like I said, we have to go deeper than just the high school level. We got to get primary school basketball involved.
I just want to jump on real quick with something that Bacchus touched on, and you sort of hinted at it. Like in the United States, some basketball leagues, AAU leagues, they have a system in place where my job is to be a coach. Do you think that if we ever got to that point where you could have a systematic program where Didi runs the league, we pay Chris to be a coach, we pay Bacchus to be a coach, we pay John Brown to be a coach, the players who are participating, they either pay a fee or entrance fee or whatever you call it to be a part of this, so that you have the structure, the look that you're looking for. Do you think that once you get one major sponsor or corporate sponsor to say, I'm going to buy into this thought where we have this league that's professionally run with money at it, that money will follow after that, where you have a team of Chris Saunders, whatever, and Chris Saunders coaches are dressed. The team is dressed. They come with everything. You're playing in a great gym, because again, that's one of your hopes, to have your own personal gym. All these things start to fall in place. Do you think that will, one, draw more sponsors, and two, really kick off our women's basketball program throughout the country?
I really think so. We really need that. Because what I wanted to do, especially with the younger girls, the high school girls, a lot of them are in grade 10 and 9, actually, some of them. Mm-hmm. And what I wanted to do at the end of the season, to take them like on trips to different tournaments, to see that, let them see that this ain't just this level. Mm-hmm. This is another level. So they could, when they come back, they know, but okay, I got to sharpen up on this skill, I got to sharpen on that skill. That was one of the things I wanted to do. Like, again, I said that between COVID and stuff like that, and sponsors, that kind of fell through the crack, but it's still one of the goals. Because me and my team, we talked about it because we want to expose our young Bahamian females. We want to expose them. We want them to see that there's a better gym than down in Laborsville. So you can make a difference. You can play in a different gym.
Right. All right. Devin Johnson will be right back. You're watching From the Sidelines, a production of University Athletics.
Being a student athlete at COB, I think that taught me a lot, you know. I mean, in terms of like, I guess how to balance schoolwork and, you know, like almost like a full-time job. Being an athlete is like a full-time job. You gotta wake up in the morning for the practices, you got gym time, and then you still have to find time to even then do extracurricular work, even if it means extra studying or if it means like working on your game otherwise. You know, that was a full-time job.
2016, I graduated from CC Sweden. And after that, I went to Holland College in Canada. Kind of didn't work out, so I was here for a year, trying to get some money to come at UB. So I came at UB, then I got Miss Rolle and Miss Cartwright was coming to help me out, pushing me to send my applications in and even the fees. So then Coach Bacchus Rolle, he just pushing me from day one. He just keep telling me he wanted me to be on the team. He wanted me to push, he keep giving me confidence in myself. I give those people thanks for what I am now.
We getting wins and we finally getting the respect I feel that we deserve from a long time.
I believe that we could do great things.
It's not knowing that the son of it, so I wouldn't be surprised if my son wouldn't end up on the team, if my grandson wouldn't end up on the team. But he gotta carry on the son's legacy. You know what I mean? And the son's legacy ain't nothing to play around with.
No.
So you gotta ask your aunt. So I will see you, y'all.
I'm a UB Mingo.
And we are UB family.
Welcome back, everybody. We're wrapping up here from the sidelines. Bacchus Rolle, final thoughts?
Devin Johnson, what, and I'm going to hold you to this, what will your legacy be? What will you be remembered for? Your imprint in women's basketball.
I want my legacy in the women's, and I always say it. I want to be the first president of the Women's League that can say that when my reign as the president, I help this one, I help that one, I help this one to get a better education, I help this one to be a better person in life. That's what I want. I want them to say, oh, he just ran the league and that was it. He did nothing. I want them to see that when Dee was in charge of the Women's League was clicking. Not saying that other people didn't do, but it's my time. We ain't just making basketball players. We're gonna develop women who could be leaders one day in the country. That's my legacy.
All right. Devin Johnson, his legacy, I think he's already started to write that chapter in his legacy. Women's basketball, the Providence Women's Basketball Association has really made an impact on a lot of people. The focus on high school basketball has really been evident in that league, hoping to develop the young ladies. And again, you won't see the impact for another 5 years, but these young ladies are taking it to heart that they have this opportunity to one place, to have that outlet, to play the sport that they love, and hopefully one day use that to create not only an education for themselves, or even to better the sport in the Bahamas, but to develop the society as well. And I think that that's a big thing, and will be a part of Devin's legacy. And again, you won't see that legacy until, at least I say 5 years, but your legacy is being written, and of course history will play it out and prove everybody wrong on what a lot of people say is the difference in the league, but I'm sure that will be, history will prove them all wrong. That'll do it for us here from the sidelines. I'm Chris Saunders on behalf of Our guest, Devin Johnson, co-host Bacchus Rolle, and the entire team, thank you so much for watching From the Sidelines.